Hello, friends, from me and my terribly dyed hair. If you're watching the video version, I am not looking really sharp today because it's a Friday and just fuck it sometimes, you know what I mean? But if you had kept up with the incidents of my hair, I know I shared it with you guys in another episode. If you didn't, really quick, I had to get my hair touched up because it was a very streaky job of some highlights to freshen it up in winter because my blonde gets really dark. It was done really badly, the highlights. And so then I went back to get it touched up and then I left a fucking brunette. So anyway, I washed my hair the other day and I did 2 shampoos, you know, whatever. You guys sent me a bunch of DMs. They're really helpful. Thank you. And look at this like blonde, like it's like 1 inch of blonde there, 1 inch of blonde there. Some random, like, look at that. Like some random shit there. And then the rest is fucking like brown. Like I have never, okay, if you look at the video, and just like another reason for you guys to watch the YouTube, see all this brown. I have never, ever in my life had brown around my face. Ever. Actually, that's a lie. When I was like 16 and dyed my hair brown out of a fucking box, I did. But this bit has always around my face been like bleach blonde compared to the rest of my hair. So the fact that I have brown around my face is just, it's new. Anyway, that's not the reason why I'm doing this podcast today with you guys. This is a quick little chicken nugget podcast that everyone can be listening to because we're out of fucking COVID. We have no more excuses to be being held back, to be staying in a fucking cocoon, to not be out there chasing our dreams. And oh, Butter's come to join us. Hi, Butter. And of course, there are times in our lives where we don't want to be doing a million things and we want to just be in our foundations and be at home and like not be on 10 airplanes all the time. And I am so here for that. I love that and I embrace that. And for those of you that are in that phase of your life, fucking enjoy it. And I also want to, you know, talk to those of you that are in the phase this year where you really want to achieve your goals and your dreams and you're not going to let anything hold you back, you need to listen to this episode because it's a nugget, but it's a reminder. And some of you might listen to this and be like, yeah, I know this, but are you acting on it? Probably not. That's why you've opened the episode, right? And so much of the time we know things, but we forget them. And just the reminder can be so helpful in us taking action. So I wanted to share with you guys why in-person events should be one of the number one things that you try to do this year, and just in-person things in general, even if it's not just events, like in-person things, right? So this is something that I would recommend for you all to be putting at the top of your to-do list. And the number one reason is because loneliness in the last 43 years has been heavily documented, and the increase of it is fucking alarming. If you didn't know this, loneliness increases your risk of premature death by 36%. Now, many of us have had an increased level of loneliness and social separation since the pandemic, and the pandemic has really brought up a lot of triggers around loneliness, feeling alone, feeling not good enough, feeling separated, et cetera, for ourselves. And what I've noticed, and I wonder whether you guys agree, I've noticed that a lot of people have gotten lazier in their social interactions as a result of the pandemic. And it's kind of this new norm that we've created for ourselves where we don't want to go do things. We can't be fucking bothered flying anywhere to see people. We don't want to have parties. We don't want to go out. Like we don't want to do anything anymore, right? And I get that you go through different phases of your life where you do more and you're more social and less social. But I think we can say across the board that people are lazier. Like you throw events and you throw parties and you throw dinner parties and people are canceling or just not showing up. And you're wondering why. Like you are not alone in that. Like you're really not alone. A lot of us have created this new norm for ourselves, right? So by attending events, by buying a ticket, then it means you have to attend the event because you've paid money. So by buying a ticket to the event, it's going and then going, obviously, it's going to help you to feel more connected, right? It's going to ensure that you are meeting like-minded people that are going to increase the quality of your friendships and just light up your soul. I am not joking when I say that I cannot count the amount of times I have been asked by you guys and in Queen Alchemy and in different programs and whatever, Monica, how do you meet like-minded women? Come to events. Come to my Australia immersion. do one of my programs and then actually connect with some of the ladies that are in the same area as you offline. I've had so many of you that have created best friends from my programs. And that makes me so, so happy because I know there are so many of you out there longing for deeper friendships. My question is, if you're longing for deeper friendships, you're longing for more of that sisterhood, are you actually taking action steps on it? Or are you thinking that just going to the yoga class is going to do it? No, go to places like, yeah, do that, but also go to places where you are talking to those people, like an event where you're already in that situation with them for 3 days straight or whatever, relating to them throughout the day. You're building that relationship with them at those event days so that you can then make sure so then the foundation is kind of solid for the friendship to continue to occur after the event, right? Because I cannot count the amount of women that have said to me they've made lifelong friends from my events before. The other thing that is so good about going to events is that you can't self-sabotage at events. The thing is, like, all the online stuff is great, right? All of the online, conferences and Zoom calls and etc. Like, I do them all the time. They're fucking fantastic, but they're not great if you're not doing them. I'm sure there's plenty of you, and this is your reminder if you've done this, that have bought one of my free downloads. Maybe you've bought my meditations. Maybe you have, bought the Quantum Leadership Masterclass, or you bought the New Year's Eve bundle, like low cost things, and you haven't fucking done them because there isn't a lot of skin in the game, right? They're not, for most people, right? Spending $15 on a meditation isn't a lot of money. So you then don't do it, right? And if you're doing that, please start listening to them because they're really fucking good and they will change your life. Just literally listening to them when you're on a walk. So sometimes for people, you actually need more skin in the game. I know that there's a lot of you that are stuck in this cycle of your triggers, your shit, your habits, your bad periods, your et cetera, but you're not doing anything about it because you're giving yourself excuses. But those excuses are the very reason why you need to do something about it. In those excuses lie your solutions. Ding, 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 right? I'm going to say that again. In your excuses lie the solutions. In your excuses lie the solutions. And what I mean by this is, like, if your excuse is, I don't have the money, I guarantee you that is holding you back in terms of resources in many other areas of your life. And that's why you're complaining about not having any friends, for example. I don't have any time. I don't have any money. I don't have a car. I don't have this. It's scarcity of I don't have. Instead of being the kind of woman that gets proactive, instead of feeling like a victim in her own life, right? So if you are signing up to my things, you're downloading my freebies, you're not doing it, you're self-sabotaging yourself. You're self-sabotaging and you're holding yourself back in your own shit, which you would also understand if you listen to my podcast from earlier in the week. So if you haven't listened to that, make sure that you listen to that. So when you come to events, you can't self-sabotage. Like when you're at my immersion, for example, there isn't any self-sabotaging. Like if you are there at the event, I am there to guide you, to help you feel safe. And you're in an environment with all these other like-minded women, which means that you cannot self-sabotage. You don't want to self-sabotage because the environment is conducive of growth and healing. The environment isn't conducive of, I can just like be on my phone whilst I'm on the Zoom call and not paying attention, but telling myself I did the Zoom call. You can't be on your phone when we're doing a process. You're fully involved in it, and you are in your own bubble of transformation and healing and quantum leaping for those 3 days. And that in and of itself is so revolutionary because you're not then absorbing and being influenced by other people's energy and by other like life admin tasks. For some of you, you're flying into Melbourne, right? So you're staying in a hotel and you're really allowing yourself to be in your own energy for that 3 week, the 3 day period, or that maybe you're coming down for 1 week, which is so transformational for you, right? So you cannot self-sabotage at events, at any kind of event. Well, any kind of really good intimate event, because you're in the environment that is making you actually want to show up, right? And the thing is, if you are not committed to yourself and if you don't fully show up to do the work, you don't do the work. If you don't fully show up, you don't do the work. Like you're 1 foot in, you're 1 foot out. And when you're doing online programs and you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you're not both feet in, you are holding yourself back. You are the only person to blame. Like, I can do everything in my power, and we have a million things that we do to make sure that we reduce this for you guys. But at the end of the day, you have to fully show up for an extended period of time. If you know that you need something fast and snappy to like whip you into shape, that's why coming to the immersion is such a great investment, because the event is allowing you to condense time, right? You can't self-sabotage because everybody in the group, everybody in the space is going all fucking in. So it's going to entice you to go all in. It's going to entice you and it's going to support you in making that quantum leap in 3 days, so that then when you go home and you have all of these courses that you want to be doing or all these resources, you'll actually implement them because you've cleared all the things that are stopping you from implementing them. And you really do condense time coming to these events. Like, I'm there to guide you, right? I'm going to help motivate you. I'm going to support you and create the space where you actually want to go all in because I am there with you, right? So you condense time by coming to the event because you eliminate all of the things that very often cause us to be distracted and cause us to take so long to achieve things, right? So this also kind of ties in with the self-sabotage I was talking about before, in that by doing such a large chunk of healing in those 3 days with me, it's going to make you firstly feel like $1,000,000, which is going to help motivate you. And you're going to be so committed to then showing up to when you get home in every aspect that you are not showing up right now. But then also because the amount of work that we do in those 3 days, and because of the energy in the room and because of the container that you're held in, you seriously quantum leap. I cannot describe to you the difference in people's faces with their before picture and their after picture. I mean, that before and after picture helps you to realize that this is a tangible result that you walk away with. It is a visible, tangible result. It's not just something woo-woo that like, oh, I think it's happened like in some other realm. No, it's happening to you in this realm. You feel it, you see it, and other people see it. Like, if you can see the changes in somebody else's face, just imagine the energetic changes and the embodiment that they are now integrating into their lives, and they're now integrating into the way that they live. If you can see that difference on someone's face after 3 days, imagine what you can't see that's changed, right? Like that's something to think about. If you can see the change, imagine the change that you can't see. I love that. If you can see the change, imagine the change that you can't see. So with that, obviously, if you haven't bought your tickets to my Australia event, you need to. What are you waiting for? The payment plan closes at the end of February. So if you need the payment plan option, you need to make sure that you get on it, because we will have no other options for you other than pay in full after the last day in February. So if you're listening to this and you've been thinking about it and you've been on the fence, now is the time for you to get resourceful. I know that you can get resourceful. I believe in you. You know you can get resourceful. All the other women that have bought their tickets have gotten so resourceful. And remember, ladies, and I'm not just saying this to like create some false sense of urgency. I'm saying it because I fucking mean it. I will not be coming back to do an Australian event anytime soon. I don't think in the next 10 years, because I'll be really transparent. We want to have kids in like 3 years' time. I said this in another episode. I'm not bringing fucking toddlers all the way to Australia and for a 3-day event, dealing with that fucking jet lag, having them and trying to do an event with you guys. Would love to think that that would be easily doable, and maybe for some parents it would, but I'm not even going to put myself in that situation where there's that kind of expectation. So I would not be coming to do another Australia event until those kids are fully able to like speak, talk, and deal with themselves to an extent. So I would not be doing another event in Australia for 10 years, which I know sounds crazy, and who knows if I'm even doing events still then in 10 years' time. We don't know where things are going to be. So I really want you guys to make sure that you are doing everything in your power to make this event work. We've given you so much notice, so much ample time. It's going to be fucking incredible. I want you to feel the energy of the event. I invite you to look at the website page, watch that testimonial video, read all the testimonials, watch the promo video so that you can fully feel what you can expect to get out of it, and then make that decision from your higher place. Right? Make this choice from your future self, from knowing what it is you're going to get out of it. Make this choice, make that payment from an expansive, open place rather than sitting in scarcity and then validating that you are in scarcity because you can't come to the event. What if you said, you know what? No, I'm going to find a way to make this work because I know in my heart and my gut that I need to do this event for myself, and it's only going to bring me good things in my life by healing all my shit. So I'm going to get resourceful. I guarantee you that you would get resourceful, but if you told yourself that story, and then you would get the resources to make this happen. If you keep telling yourself it's not going to happen, then it's not going to happen. Okay. So with that, the link to get your ticket is below. Do not forget to grab it. Do not just tell yourself you're going to do it later. Do it now. If you feel it in your heart right now that you need to be there, if you're excited, if you are hopeful, if you feel the longing in your gut, I urge you to trust that. Click the link below. If you have any questions whatsoever, please email support@monicagateshealth.com and we can answer them for you. And I'm so excited to see you all in Melbourne in May in Australia. And with that, I will see you guys in the next episode.